Imagine this moment. You wake up in the morning, open your eyes, and realize the world around you is not quite what you thought. The bed you're lying on, the wall you're staring at, even the breath you're taking in, none of it is truly physical in the way you've always believed. Reality, the thing you call the world, turns out to be a dream in a vast mind, a sophisticated simulation born from consciousness. Sounds crazy? But that's exactly what the first Hermetic principle declares. All is mind. The universe is mental. From the very first second, this principle challenges everything we think we know about reality. It's not just an ancient philosophy or a mystical theory. It's a declaration that completely shifts the way we see life. And in this video, I want to take you deep into this principle. Through modern thinking, real-life stories, and our experiences in the digital age. At the heart of Hermeticism lies a statement that appears deceptively simple. All is mind. But this isn't a metaphor, and it's not meant to be symbolic. It's intended as a literal truth. What we perceive as the material universe, stars, planets, our bodies, even our thoughts, is not made of matter in the way we typically understand it. Instead, it's made of consciousness. Everything you see is a projection of mind. Pause for a moment and truly consider this. What if the world around you is less like a machine and more like a dream? A dream not just in your personal consciousness, but in a universal, infinite consciousness. Imagine your thoughts not merely as private inner phenomena, but as ripples in a vast ocean of shared awareness. If this is true, then the implications are staggering. For instance, let's ask a provocative question. If the world exists in mind, then is anything truly external? Are you interacting with a reality separate from you, or are you interacting with your own beliefs, expectations, and perceptions reflected back at you through the illusion of an external world? Many mystics and philosophers, from Advaita Vedanta to Buddhist Mahayana schools, have echoed similar thoughts for centuries. In Vedanta, they say, Brahman is the only reality. The world is illusion. In Buddhism, we hear that all phenomena are empty, not non-existent, but devoid of any separate, inherent identity. Even modern thinkers tap into this. Philosopher George Berkeley, for example, proposed that physical objects do not exist independently of our perception. To be is to be perceived, he claimed. And in our modern digital age, even simulation theory, popularized by Elon Musk and theoretical physicists, suggests that our universe might be more like a highly sophisticated program than an objective physical structure. And what about the role of the observer? The Hermetic principle of mentalism implies that you are not just an observer, you are also a co-creator. This aligns beautifully with quantum mechanics, where the presence of an observer seems to collapse possibilities into actual events. Your awareness, your focus, your attention, these are not passive. They are causal forces in the creation of your experience. To ground this in everyday reality, think about how two people can experience the same event entirely differently. A rainy day might be gloomy and depressing to one person, but cleansing and refreshing to another. The event, the rain, is the same, but the experience of it is generated by the mind. This leads us to an astonishing realization. Perhaps we do not live in a world. Perhaps we live in our mind's version of the world. And if the world is a mirror of consciousness, then by changing the contents of your mind, you inevitably change your reality. Understanding this doesn't require blind belief. You can begin observing it in your own life, right now. Watch how your thoughts shape your emotional state, how your attention alters your energy, how your beliefs influence the way people treat you. Notice how your inner state subtly, or sometimes dramatically, alters your outer experience. That's the principle of mentalism in action. So now the question becomes, what kind of world are you creating? If your mind is the canvas on which reality is painted, what images are you projecting? Are they painted with fear, scarcity, doubt, or with clarity, abundance, and confidence? In the coming sections, we'll explore how science supports this principle, how our attention is being hijacked, and most importantly, how to reclaim your mind so you can reclaim your world. To truly appreciate the depth of the mentalism principle, we must turn our attention to a remarkable discovery in the world of quantum physics, the observer effect. This principle, grounded in real experimentation, suggests that the mere act of observing a quantum event changes its outcome. In the iconic double-slit experiment, electrons fired through two slits behave like waves, until someone watches them. Once observed, they collapse into particles, choosing a single path. The implication? Observation, conscious attention, has the power to alter physical reality. Now pause and really think about that. Something as intangible as attention has a measurable effect on matter. Could this be proof of the Hermetic assertion that reality is mental? That consciousness shapes the material world? Let's break this down further. Classical physics told us the universe runs like a machine, predictable, objective, and independent of us. But quantum mechanics threw a wrench into that worldview. It introduced uncertainty, probability, and above all, the participatory nature of reality. No longer are we separate observers. We are part of the equation. This is where science and spirituality begin to converge. Ancient Hermeticists claimed that the mind creates reality. Quantum science now hints that consciousness participates in manifesting potential into form. The bridge is being built, not through superstition, but through discovery. Here's a practical example. Think about how your mood changes the way you perceive the world. When you're joyful, people seem kinder, the sky looks brighter, and even setbacks feel manageable. But when you're anxious or angry, the same world feels hostile and heavy. What's changed? Not the world. You have. Your internal frequency shifts and your external experience responds. Take the story of Quoa, an artist who was struggling with a creative block. He spent months trying to force inspiration through effort and discipline, growing more frustrated by the day. One evening, he decided to meditate instead. He simply sat, observed his breath, and let go of the struggle. After 20 minutes of silence, an image flashed in his mind, clear, vivid, and emotionally resonant. That image became the seed of a series that would later be showcased in a major exhibition. What happened here wasn't magic. It was consciousness accessing the field of potential, the wave of possibilities, then collapsing it into form. Quoa's focused awareness tuned into a deeper frequency, one not available through logical thinking alone. That's the observer effect playing out in human experience. If observation alters reality at a quantum level, and your consciousness is always observing, then doesn't it follow that your world is always responding to you? Every thought, every emotion, every moment of presence or distraction sends a ripple into the field of possibilities, shaping what solidifies into your lived experience. We are no longer just thinkers, we are sculptors. And attention is our chisel. In the next section, we'll look at how that chisel is being subtly stolen and how to take it back. If your mind is the brush that paints reality, then your attention is the hand that holds the brush. But what happens when that hand is not your own? We live in an age of unprecedented mental fragmentation. Our attention is no longer something we freely give. It's something constantly taken from us. Social media algorithms, advertising, breaking news, and endless digital notifications are all vying for one thing, your awareness. And not just for a moment. They want it on loop, continuously. Let me tell you about Lynn, a freelance writer who once felt deeply connected to her creativity. But over time, her spark began to fade. Instead of starting her mornings journaling or meditating, she began her days checking her phone, scrolling, comparing, consuming. Soon, she found it difficult to write at all. Her thoughts felt scattered, her energy drained. She wasn't blocked creatively, she was disconnected. Her attention, the very source of her power, was being siphoned away bit by bit. This is not an isolated case. Studies show that the average person now has a shorter attention span than a goldfish, 8 seconds. And we wonder why we feel more stressed, less fulfilled, and chronically distracted. Our mind, the sacred space of creation, is being intruded upon. Not with violence, but with seduction. Through the soft pings of dopamine and convenience, we are lured away from presence. Hermetic teachings emphasize that attention is creation. Wherever you direct your mind, you are amplifying that experience. But modern culture teaches us the opposite, that our attention is disposable, something to be divided endlessly. This split of focus doesn't just make us less productive, it makes us less conscious. Here's another story. Dewey, a high school teacher, began noticing a disturbing pattern among his students. They couldn't focus on anything for more than a few minutes, not even conversations. Some showed signs of anxiety and depression, not from trauma, but from overstimulation. Dewey started incorporating silent journaling and short mindfulness practices into his classes. At first, students resisted. But within weeks, many reported feeling calmer, clearer, more present. The shift was subtle, but real. What does this tell us? That presence is not optional, it's fundamental. Without presence, we cannot observe. And without observation, we cannot shape reality. Distraction is not just a nuisance, it's a spiritual crisis. In Hermeticism, the ability to sustain attention is akin to spiritual muscle. It's the skill of the magician, the mystic, the manifestor. Without it, we are not creators. We are reactors, puppets pulled by invisible strings we can't even see. So ask yourself, who owns your attention right now? Is it you or a platform, an ad, a stranger's opinion? The next section will explore how we can reclaim our attention, strengthen our inner lens, and return to the source of our power, the undivided, focused mind. If your attention is the gatekeeper of your creative power, then reclaiming it isn't just beneficial, it's revolutionary. It's an act of spiritual rebellion against a world designed to distract, scatter, and dilute your mind. So how do we take back control? The first and most accessible path is meditation. Often misunderstood as something only monks or mystics do, meditation is, in truth, a form of mental hygiene. It clears the clutter, centers the focus, and restores awareness to the present moment. Think of it like sharpening your inner lens, allowing you to direct your thoughts intentionally rather than reactively. Let's revisit Lynn, the writer we met earlier. When she recognized her attention had become fragmented, she started a small ritual, just 5 minutes of breath-focused meditation every morning. No fancy apps, no music, just breath. Within 2 weeks, she noticed a change. Her creative spark returned. Her writing sessions became deeper, more fluid. Meditation wasn't a magic spell. It was a discipline that gently returned her attention to where it belonged. Another essential practice is digital boundaries. Create sacred spaces in your day where you're unreachable by screens. 1 hour before bed, 30 minutes after waking. One afternoon a week completely offline. These small gaps from stimulation allow your brain to reset. They make space for original thought, intuition, and deeper reflection. And then there is the power of intention setting. Every day, before stepping into the chaos of the world, ask yourself, what do I choose to focus on today? By stating your intention, be it creativity, gratitude, clarity, you align your mind with a specific frequency. That intention becomes the magnet for your attention. Don't underestimate how powerful this is. In Hermetic philosophy, the mind isn't just reactive, it's magnetic. What you focus on expands. Your dominant thoughts shape your perceptions, your relationships, your results. Now imagine combining all three, meditation, digital boundaries, and intentional focus, into a daily rhythm. Over time, your mind becomes your ally again. Your energy returns. Your ability to perceive truth, create beauty, and act with power is restored. You begin living as a conscious participant in reality, not as a bystander. And perhaps most importantly, you remember that your attention is sacred. That by honoring it, protecting it, and focusing it with purpose, you not only change your life, you change your world. In the next section, we'll explore the deeper layers of the subconscious mind, the silent architect of your destiny, and how to align it with your conscious intentions. While your conscious mind steers the ship moment by moment, it's your subconscious that writes the map, and often without your awareness. This is the domain of stored memories, deep emotions, and long-held beliefs. The Hermetic principle of mentalism suggests that the world is a mental construct, and the subconscious is the workshop where the raw material of your beliefs gets shaped into the physical experiences of your life. The subconscious doesn't argue or question. It accepts whatever you feed it repeatedly, especially when those ideas are accompanied by strong emotion. That's why early childhood experiences, traumatic events, or repeated negative affirmations can root themselves deeply into your mental soil. They become default programs, silently dictating how you interpret the world, what you expect from others, and what you allow yourself to receive. Take, for example, Bao, a talented musician who never pursued a career because he believed he wasn't good enough. This wasn't a conscious decision. It was the echo of a comment his music teacher made when Bao was just 12, "You're not soloist material." That sentence, combined with Bao's emotional vulnerability, became a mental tattoo etched into his subconscious. And for years, it guided his life in the background, like hidden code in software. The good news? The subconscious is programmable, and you are the programmer. The first step is awareness. Begin to observe your automatic thoughts and behaviors without judgment. Ask yourself, where did this belief come from? Is it even true? Who taught me that success means burnout, or that love must be earned? Then, begin a process of rewriting. Use powerful tools such as affirmations. Not just mechanical repetition, but emotionally charged declarations that resonate with the life you wish to build. Visualization. Not vague daydreaming, but vivid inner experiences where you feel yourself living the reality you want to create. Inner child work. Revisiting old emotional wounds with compassion and rewriting their meanings. Neurologically, the brain doesn't distinguish well between imagined experience and lived experience, especially if emotion is involved. This is why athletes mentally rehearse before competitions. It works. You're literally sculpting your inner world, and by Hermetic law, your outer world must eventually conform. There's also an often overlooked practice: sleep programming. The moments just before sleep are when the subconscious is most impressionable. Replace late-night scrolling with a simple ritual: listening to recorded affirmations, visualizing your goals, or repeating a mantra. Let your final thoughts of the day be seeds planted deep into fertile soil. And remember, your current beliefs are not your fault, but changing them is your responsibility. In our next and final section, we'll bring everything together. We'll look at what it truly means to live as a conscious creator, applying the principle of mentalism to build a life, not by chance, but by design. So here we are. You've explored the idea that reality is not fixed, but flexible. That your thoughts are not passive, but powerful. That your attention is not trivial, but sacred. That your subconscious is not a mystery, but a mold. And most importantly, that you are not a spectator. You are a participant, a creator, a force. To live by the Hermetic principle of mentalism is to accept an extraordinary responsibility. The world you experience begins in the mind you cultivate. It's not about control, it's about alignment. Alignment between intention and attention, between desire and belief, between your conscious will and your subconscious programming. This doesn't mean life will become perfect or painless, but it does mean that you step out of the illusion of helplessness. You recognize that while you cannot choose every external circumstance, you can choose how your internal reality shapes your outer world. In every moment, you are broadcasting a signal. Through your thoughts, emotions, and focus, you are telling the universe, this is what I believe. This is what I'm available for. And the universe, ever responsive, mirrors that back. So what will you broadcast? Let your attention be deliberate. Let your mind be disciplined. Let your subconscious be nurtured, not neglected. You don't need to become someone new. You simply need to remember who you already are. A being of immense creative capacity, living in a universe shaped by consciousness itself. And as you move forward from this video, let this idea echo within you. The world is not happening to you. It is happening through you. You are not just part of the story. You are holding the pen. So write well, live wide awake, and never forget the truth whispered by Hermes Trismegistus across the ages. All is mind. Thank you for watching.